Maybe. Trying. Yep. Welcome to the show. This is Matt from Unbearable 73. My co-guest host Jacob should be here soon. Just waiting. I'm just waiting to do my official lame ass audio check. See if it comes out okay. And here's Jacob. Let me know when you're good, Jacob. We were in, but we see how. Again, with my same rocky start I usually get. Okay, so it's Friday, September 13th. Got some unboxings today, which you can't quite see, but they're over there. A couple articles, our little golden book, usual chat Jacob and I do. Maybe talk about Luc Besson's filmography a little bit. Sort of stuff. How you doing,
Hello, everybody. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. Is it how's the weather down where you are?
Sunny.
Still warm down there, or are you still in the summer down there?
I think it's back up into the 90s, 97. So it's gone back up a little bit.
You know, it shot back up into the low 80s the last day or two up here. You know, but it's still summer. So I mean, they think when does fall start? Like another couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So, then we'll get up what we call Indian summer up here in October. So
yeah, it's like late October before it starts getting cold. Here.
Well, I mean that's similar here too, but like I said, we get that little thing called Indian summer later in the year. Like in October.
Yeah.
We'll get a surge of warmth or whatever, you know. So let's get right into the unboxings. Even though I usually wait, but we don't have to wait because people are watching a replay, I guess. Obviously, if you've seen it before, you've seen the comics. So, speaking of which, I have to go into Things from Another World and set up my next couple months of orders. I've been lazy about it. There's only 3 comics in this one. That means I'll probably get a couple on back issue. Okay. I'm more prepared with a disposal bag on the side here. I have like a big box too. I think this is. I think I'm finally going to use up my supply of comic boxes and boards that I've had for like 2 years with these last couple, and finally get some more of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Although I'm probably not doing is just. Anyway. Okay. Oh, they're all horror comic books. I'm going to mainstream myself. This is from Dark Horse. It's Arkham Horror.
Okay, cool.
Can you see the names on it?
So
Written by
Cthulhu.
Well, Cullen Dunn is the guy who wrote Harrow County that I reviewed. So this is a new horror series by him. Some
but it's set in the H.P. Lovecraft world or what?
I don't know yet. I have to. Based on the title, I'm presuming it's a Lovecraft, it's a Lovecraftian story or Lovecraftian adaptation. But I'd have to follow up with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here we have a Michael Moorcock adaptation, Elric the Necromancer. Okay. So Michael Moorcock's a novelist, author, written science fiction and fantasy. The main stuff is around his Eternal Champion concept, which the main character there is Elric of Melniboné. You know, it's nice interior artwork.
Yeah, looks nice.
These comics. This tends to be very dark, like a darker, like almost a dark fantasy type of story or dark sci-fi. So they're a mix. And then the last issue is This is Hello Darkness #2, right? And this is a sequel. This is from Boom, and this is a series I've been reading. I believe I have the. I have so many comics. I'm trying to remember. Is this the one? I'll get back to you what this one is about because I remember getting. I think one is actually coming in the future. So let me show for the artwork before I do that. The cover's on the back. So this is the cover. Mm-hmm. See the artwork.
Yeah.
And make sure this is internal artwork. Right. I think this is a bit of an anthology. I think it's an anthology by someone who did another series I liked from Boom Studios. Yes, it's five. It's a couple different stories. I think it's set in a world. What the heck was it? I'll get back to that later. I'll have to describe it another time because I don't want to get lost in ramblings over the one particular thing, Yeah. But if it's what I think it is, I really love the two comic series that I read. I think these are anthologies set in that world. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now our next item here. Open, damn it, open. Oh my God, they taped the pull tab shut. Like, why would you do that? So now I have to. I don't care, but the envelope's not reusable.
Somebody who didn't know what they're doing. Yeah. Somebody who didn't know what they're doing.
Well, usually at this place, which we have to be mean about it. Right?
Hulk Matt.
Usually at the Rippaverse, they don't mess up that badly. Maybe it's just one woke employee.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually they have quality shipping and all. Whatever. It's over with. It's done with.
Yeah.
In the bag. Yeah. So this should be the Rippazine, which is the Rippaverse magazine. And it was on sale. I got the first and second issue on sale for I think like half price each or something like that. They had a sale on it a while back. And there's supposedly introduction of several characters, short stories, and stuff like that. So that's why I got them. But and plus the same cool Rippaverse artwork that you get, So
yeah.
As far as the Rippaverse goes, I don't know. I saw number one was okay. I saw number two was better, but then the other series got really good. Like Alpha Core was good, Gyro was really good, and Gooding the Polymath is really good. So I'm assuming that the quality is going to keep ramping up. So with the series, we'll have to see. Obviously, now let's hide these over here. Okay. I guess up there. So my next opening, we'll do the little pack of glass. I think that's just a cover for something.
Yeah, I've just recently finished the read the Crow comic. And I'm going through the Hellboy comics right now.
What did you buy for the Crow? Did you get a trade paperback or something?
Oh no, it was I read it on the internet.
Oh, so if you want to buy it, I have I've reviewed the edition on there's a sort of super like a hardcover edition Amazon has on sale a lot, which has not only the original Crow comic, but added material that he removed because it was too long. So the story gets expanded a bit. Okay. I'll try to dig it out and show it to you sometime, but it's a really cool way to read the Crow.
Cool.
Like I said, Amazon something often has it on sale for like $10 or $20. And it's a box in a box. Box in a box.
That is a really nice box.
this. Okay. So I decided to get myself a new tablet. And the main reason for this is I found myself for work training purposes reading a lot of PDFs and stuff. And, or even like the PDF I read for our RPG thing, Jacob, and I hate reading them on my phone. I don't, I'd rather just leave my phone to my phone and, and this could be useful for that. Plus I can have this as a watch TV in the kitchen when I cook or something like that, So it's a Fire HD Plus. Yeah. It's decent, decent price. Okay. The weight's not too bad. I mean, actually, I think it weighs less than my phone. Holy shit, it does.
Wow. That's good.
It has the flip like most of these devices do. Not gonna turn it on yet because of I might have to charge it or whatever. Yeah. So use that here. I have to sort out the parts and read the warranty and all that stuff too. And plus, I got the clear case for it. And then in the big box, I think this is actually the wireless charging station. It was on sale for half price. So let me grab it. Yeah.
Yeah.
With plenty of foam, this is the wireless charging station. And the nice thing about this is it's also a stand. I'm not going to take the whole thing out yet. So it's a stand. So you put the tablet like here and it would charge there once you plug this in. So that could be used. I wouldn't have got it, but it was on sale. So if we can grab it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my box in a box in a box. And the last thing is I think is related to that. I think it's another piece. There was like a 4 for a half price off everything type of deal. Yeah, it's this is a cover. So I have the hard case and the cover. So and they're both cheap. So I'll decide which one I want to use once I see which one works out better,
Yeah.
Sorting out the garbage.
The only
styrofoam.
The only iPad I've had is an iPad, and it's basically a brick now, so it didn't really work.
Well, I don't like Mac products in general, so that's why I went to Amazon.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking of getting a Surface because they're supposedly pretty decent, but I want nothing to do with Microsoft anymore. So it's like,
yeah,
so
I like Apple stuff. I mean, I grew up with Apple, so, but the only thing I don't like about it is every year you have to get a new one, and there's no support for the older stuff. They just say, "Hey, just buy a new one." Oh yeah, that's in my budget. Yeah, to buy a new.
Well, there's a whole secondary Mac community who use that stuff for decades. Like there's a dude who has Macs that are 20 years old and he still uses them and stuff. But I guess that you got to be wanting to take care of yourself and all.
The MacBook I have right now is from 2012.
Yeah. But my problem isn't with their technology. It's or their software and whatever. It's the company and their sort of like proprietariness and anti-user fixing their own stuff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did the unboxings. Over here. I'll play around with that later. Let's get into it. I don't know. Well, let's actually. Did we talk about James Earl Jones passing last week, Jacob?
No.
So it's there's 2 passings, I guess. James Earl Jones and what's his face? Let's get James Earl Jones on. And Steve McQueen's son, I can't remember his name, but he played Dutch in The Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
The one who goes, bury him! That guy. or
Oh,
you're gonna be in a
which one
body
was that?
bag. You know,
Yeah, I've never seen that one. Maybe
you ever seen Karate Kid?
no.
Jacob. Okay, so so the great James L. Jones has gone to the acting school in the sky, as it were. Um, let's see here. 1931, 2024. Always a class guy. No controversies with his life and all that. Always seemed to treat people respectively. As far as his acting credits was on screen and stage. Here we go. Uh, we've seen him.
Yeah, when he
Obviously,
was a
he's. Go ahead. Sorry.
when he was a kid, he was he stuttered really bad.
Hmm. So did he grow out of it or train himself out of it?
Yeah, he trained himself out of it.
Yeah. And known for his voice, probably most well known as the voice of Darth Vader, of course, right? And then the
Yeah.
voice of CNN. This is CNN. Not um, and then the Lion King, Mufasa, the Lion King.
Mufasa.
Yeah, but also many great movies. So let's go with film first. I haven't watched Doctor Strangelove in a long time, but I don't remember him in there, but I remember the movie. You know, uh, what is Swashbuckler? I have to remember that one for later because I usually like swashbuckling movies. Deadly Hero. Uh, I remember him in the horrible Exorcist 2. I remember him in there. This is an underrated movie.
What is it? The
The Bushido Blade.
Bushido blade.
Yeah. Basically, it's kind of a loosely historically accurate, like the historical events where, as I said, Commodore Perry signed a treaty with the Shogun of Japan, right? And the samurai sword that a samurai sword was sent to Franklin Pierce from the Japanese nobility, and it was stolen, and then uh, the story is about the recovery of the sword. Basically, the movie is anyway.
Hmm.
So
Oh, huh.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
and it's basically imagine Richard Boone, Sonny Chiba, you know, Sonny Chiba is great, James Earl. Mako was. There's so many names. If you Toshiro Mifune was in it. Like if you watch Japanese movies, especially samurai movies, like you know all the names. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's from '79. Obviously, the story of Empire of Star Wars and the Darth Vader voice.
Uh, I don't think so.
So the guy who
I
played
probably
Darth
do
Vader
if you tell me.
physically was David Prose, if I remember his name correctly, right?
Right.
He passed away a few years ago, and he actually did the original Darth Vader voice, but Lucas never intended to use his voice. Okay, but they never told him
Right.
that. So eventually, they hired James L. Jones. I
Oh,
don't remember. Yeah, and Prose didn't find out till he went to the theater to see the movie.
that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, obviously, he played Thulsa Doom and Conan the Barbarian, but the film here that I've never seen this. This is one of the best animated films ever made, The Flight of Dragons. It's loosely based on Gordon R. Dixon's The Dragon and the George novel, which is
Hmm.
sort of a time traveling fantasy series. It's a Rankin and Bass film. I'm actually going to play a little clip from that because not a lot of people have seen this movie. I think my brother watches this at least once a week. I mean, movies. Do I have it in 4K? I think I might have it in 4K. Let me
I don't
double
know if
check.
I've seen that. Sounds familiar. I might have seen it. I don't know.
Well, you'll kind of know when you see it, I guess. The Flight of Dragon. Where did I put it? I have such a large media file directory. No. Oh, I can do it through Plex. There's a go crazy over it. The flight of dragon. Okay. And let's go to share, stop screen, present, screen share, window, Plex. So this is what it looks like. Tell me if you hear the audio, Jacob.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're ready.
Yeah. I'll just skip through it a little bit so we don't get copyright.
It's been a long time, but yeah, I have seen this.
Yeah. And I love this. This is the character James Earl Jones played, by the way. I again, I'm a fan of Gordon R. Dixon's novel, The Dragon and the George, right? So that's how I kind of found this movie when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah. I think I saw the Hobbit cartoon around the same time.
Yeah.
Too.
There are a lot of like lost fantasy movies that were made in the 70s and 80s, you know what I mean? That just didn't get And I should say, visually, it like if you read the novel, it's the visuals come across a little differently. Like the dragons here look kind of like more whimsical, but they're actually in Dixon's novel more like Smog-like in physical depiction. You know, not as big, but like in terms of like they're not just like puffy as well. So, but if it's worth checking this out if you ever plus I can kind of page through it a little bit. Yeah, and there's about if you like the first one, there's like 9 sequels before he died. So So and that was go back to James Earl Jones. So stop screen, present, share screen, James Earl Jones. Obviously, he was in Malcolm X. Okay, let's go back a little bit, but kind of, and then of course after the next major film, probably people would know him from. I know from Alan Quarterman in the Lost City of Gold, which was Richard Chamberlain. He was in there with. So this again, this is an underrated fantasy film from the 80s. I'm a Richard Chamberlain fan, so Richard Chamberlain, Sharon Stone, James Earl Jones, Henry Silva. Robert Donner, and what else was obviously Coming to America? He played King Jaffe. And then this is a film that is very underrated. It's one of the better sports martial arts films they've ever done, and it had a bunch of horrible sequels. But best of the best. It's about a full contact martial arts tournament. In this case, between the U.S. and I think South Korea, and he plays the coach. And it's funny because in real life, James Earl Jones said, "I have no idea how Taekwondo worked. They just told me to act like a coach, and they gave me lines to say like kick higher, and like stuff like that, Yeah. Now, then of course, The Hunt for Red October. He played Admiral Greer, and now I would have to say the original Hunt for Red October is probably one of the better adaptations of a book ever.
Yeah.
Even though the only big thing to me is they skipped the whole spoilers for the 30-year-old book, guys. They skipped the whole submarine in the river part. If you remember the sequence in the book, if you read it or not.
Yeah.
There's a whole there's a submarine chase in the river, and they just kind of omit that, So.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Otherwise, the movie would have been an hour longer.
Yeah.
It's like,
they have the
yeah,
river scene at the end, but there's no submarine chase.
yeah. And it's like that battle, like part of the battle they put in the ocean, which is short, is much longer. And it's in the river, and so it's like, how do I put it? I'm trying to figure the way to put it. It's like I said, if they ever did a TV miniseries of it, you could put it in there because you wouldn't be constrained by time. You know what I mean? So I'd
Yeah.
have to say that uh, Admiral Greer of because 10th for October is the first of John Clancy's novels to be turned into a movie, and Admiral
Yep.
Greer is probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite characters in the whole series. You know.
Yeah. He's really good.
But he was in Patriot Games again and Admiral Greer. Anything else stand out to you? Otherwise, next film I've seen would be Meteor Man, which is a kind of fun superhero film, a little superhero comedy.
Did he die in Patriot Games, or did he die in the uh, Clear and Present Danger? The
Um,
character.
I'm trying to. Well, in the novels, that's not when he dies. No, it is when he dies. Right.
No.
In the novel,
Yeah.
he dies because he has cancer, and I'm trying to remember the sequence. And close to, oh yeah, so Clear and Present Danger. He winds up. Okay, so Jack Ryan. There's a mission, right? Okay, so in the 80s, in real life, like the U.S. was sending like special forces to help the Colombians deal with the cartels. Of course, the cartels are basically sending special forces against the Colombians, right? The Colombian military, right? That's how bad these cartels have gotten even back then, right? And
Yeah.
in the movie, we weren't like sending our special forces in against the cartels. We were sending ours in to train the Colombians and support them, right? Where in the
Right.
movie they wanted to do a black mission because they killed the president's best friend or something, the cartels, and it's in the book, I should say. And okay, now I'm remembering the sequence. So they kill the president's friend, and so he wants revenge on the cartels. So they want to send special forces in and use them especially to use pinpoint bombing and take out like whole groups of them. But the president goes too far
Right.
and blows up a whole bunch of little kids, like a whole families of one of the cartel leaders and all that.
Yeah.
Even takes out a bunch of cartel leaders. And so the CIA is divided into multiple directorates, right? Greer has the intelligence directorate, and another guy has the operations directorate. And Jack works for Greer, but kept getting assigned to the operations director because he's really good, Jack Ryan. And so they put together an operation, and they decide to sort of like Mission Impossible style blow the team sent in the field, take out. So they weren't going to extract them. They were going to do like deny it said they ever sent them because the president. This is something you can indict the president for doing what he did, like criminally, or well, not to indict him. You could like impeach him. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Yeah.
And so the bulk of the novel then is Jack. They kind of leaked, the 2 intelligence guys, Greer and the other guy, kind of leaked to Jack what's going on. So he goes in and forms his own operation with some other military people who work against the rules to save John Clark. That's where John Clark gets introduced to Jack Ryan series, Ding Chavez and the others. And one of the guys they can't, so that's kind of the novel of it, right? And Greer dies either in that novel or between that novel and the next one. That I would have to try to remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love that novel. Yeah. Yeah. So, and sequencing wise, I think Patriot Games happens before Red October and Clipper happens after it. But they're written, Hunt for October is written before it, right? Because the first like 7 or 8 Ryanverse novels, they're kind of written a little out of order, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Hunt for Red October is like the first book.
I think it's the first one
right?
he wrote. It's the first one he wrote, yeah.
Right.
So we'll take a little aside here, Ryanverse.
I found a copy of that. It's from Naval printing. It's from a naval printing press.
The Hunt for October.
Yeah, the one copy I found of it.
Yeah. So here's by public the order they were written. So Hunt for October, Patriot Games, Cardinal of the Kremlin, Clear Present Danger, Sum of All Fears, Without Remorse, Debt of Honor, Executive Orders, Rainbow Six, The Bear and the Dragon, Red Rabbit, Teeth of the Tiger, Dead or Alive, Locked On, Threat Vector, Command Authority, and then they canceled this one, which they should have. And then there's a whole bunch of post novels after. And honestly, I am not a fan of the ones post his death. You know what I mean? Not that I thought you could continue the universe after his death,
Yeah,
especially,
it
but
seems weird.
it just felt contrived the way they did it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's the chronology, the order of the actual novels, not the order the story is in. So Without Remorse, which is one of the better ones, which is John Clark's origin. Okay, then Patriot Games.
Yeah, I guess somebody had passed away, and I found most of them books at a resale shop.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
All hardback, all in great condition.
His quality of writing, Clancy, is always top notch. And
Yeah.
always the technical details, except when he changed them on purpose to avoid people being able to assemble certain devices, are pretty good.
Yeah.
Then Red Rabbit, right? Hunt for October, Red Winter, Cardinal of the Kremlin, Clear and Present Danger, Sum of All Fears, Debt of Honor, Executive Orders, Rainbow Six, Bear and the Dragon, and then Teeth of the Tiger. We're getting to the ones after his death now, And I'm not opposed to the continuation of it. I just thought the story post continuation, they lost. To me, it felt like they were like Clancy's novels have a certain sort of, I guess you would say, not the morality, but like a certain sort of heroic sense of honor and all that, and like this, I just felt like everything after his death is more like just a bunch of adventure stories. You know what I mean? They're not like
Yeah.
you could have fit like there's a reason Jack Ryan is Jack Ryan and John Clark
Well,
is John Clark and all that, right?
and
But
two, his connections and everything died when he did Tom Clancy. I mean, he
well,
had connections that
yeah, no,
helped,
that's true.
with
Yeah,
writing his book.
yeah. No, that's perfectly true. What I'm saying is, though, like he established his characters as being the way for a reason, through their struggles and all that. Whereas when you get to like the Teeth of the Tiger, when it's like Jack Jr. and the two kids, they're like basically the Hardy Boys. They're early 20s or whatever. There's no story for how they got there. Like they weren't, like Jack got there because he was in the Marines, but then hurt his leg, so they went to the private sector, but he still worked for the. He did work for. There's a backstory there that established that character. You know what I mean? It's like it just
Yeah.
felt like you could have substituted any characters in and called them any names and just told the same stories for the ones post Clancy. That's what I'm kind of getting at,
Yeah.
And the one Clancy book that is not connected to any of them is called Red Storm Rising. It takes place in the 80s about basically the U.S. and the Soviet Union going and getting into conflict, and it's one of his better books, by the way. So back to our view of James Earl Jones. Anyone? Do we have any guests chatting?
Yeah.
So Melvin Deeply, welcome Melvin. Yeah, Chad McQueen. We'll get to him in a minute. Hey, Pops. Hey, Brian, how you doing, my friend? That's our friend in the Pro Life Forum. Okay, so we're back on the James Earl Jones thing. What else? The Lion King. I guess in the late '90s, most famous for the Lion King stuff.
Yeah.
And Returning as Vader. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So obviously, after all of that, he's Rogue One, which is Vader again. So
Yeah.
then he had a television career, of course. The guy had an amazing career, you know.
Yeah, he did. Really did.
He even played characters on The Simpsons. Yeah, and then TV films.
Stargate. Oh yeah, Stargate. He played a Unis, one of the monster uh,
Oh, the
people on yeah,
the ones who used to be the Golden
Stargate.
hosts, right? The,
Right. Uh-huh.
they found one of the Unums or whatever they were called.
Where is
Unas,
that?
yeah.
Go
Thor's
back up.
Hammer. He
Oh,
played Unas.
Unis. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know he had a theater career. In theater, was he in? He what was the play? He had a great
He
theater
played
career.
Othello.
Yeah. Yep. And by the way, for the whole black guy playing the white guy and all that, see when this is the way to do it proper, where it's just an actor playing a role. You know what I mean? Where we're not worried about the
Yeah.
race,
Uh-huh.
and I'm fine with that. I mean, I keep saying this all the time, but I mean, if they had cast some of the character in Peter Jackson's films as black people or whatever, but didn't say, well, the character is really black, they'd have a great actor playing it. I personally wouldn't have complained too much. You know what I mean? It's like when they got
Uh,
Idris Elba to play Hemdall, like they
I,
were
I I
aliens.
don't I don't have a problem with a black character in Lord of the Rings as long as it fits the world. And it
Um.
wouldn't fit the world if they like casted one of the Gondorians as black. I mean, it wouldn't
Well,
work.
it depends what they're doing. Like, let's say they made a Nigerian version of the Lord of the Rings. Do they have to get all white guys to play there? You know what I mean? I mean, what happens in 100 years in the future? Let's say when everyone is mixed and there's no more any people. You know what I'm saying? Like what then do you do? You know. So my goal with this whole thing is if you're making adaptation, as long as you're not saying like they did in Rings of Prime, where they're saying, well, these characters were actually black, right? But Tolkien was racist and didn't write it. That's what they're saying. That's wrong, right? But yes, I would prefer the something that is like contextually accurate to descriptions. Like, yeah, I would want Scandinavian. I mean, ideally, you want Scandinavian people playing all the elves because they're supposed to look Scandinavian. You know what I'm saying? But excuse me. Yeah. Uh, yeah, but he's not like he's done a lot of great plays. What was that one play? That was it. Death of a Salesman. Did he do that one? I don't think so. But he had a tremendous theater career at the point, and he played so many roles. And he's just a great actor in like everything he's ever done. You know.
Yeah.
Now, our other death was Chad McQueen. And obviously, he's going to be most famous for the Karate Kid 1 and 2 as Dutch. Okay. And so, Phil, don't know who that is. Dutch Karate Kid. That's this character. This guy.
Okay.
And he was he was struggling with illness in his last few years. He didn't appear in Cobra Kai, and in Cobra Kai they said, well, he was in prison, you know. So, but so they'll probably have a thing because one of the other actors who played if you see Karate Kid, the bad guys. Well, I mean, Kreese is the real bad guy. The idea is that Johnny and his friends were misguided by Kreese, who was their mentor, type of thing. And Johnny had no father, so Kreese kind of stepped in, type of. That was the kind of story. Like it was the whole thing. Like both Johnny and Oh God, I'm just totally brain locking on this now. Ralph Macchio's character and Johnny both lost their fathers, right? And so Johnny had a stepfather who was a piece of crap. So they both got surrogate fathers. And one got Mr. Miyagi, who was a great guy, and helped him through his problems when he was a teenage guy who needed his dad. And the other guy got John Kreese, who was human garbage, you know? And so that was kind of the parallel stories. A lot of people missed that, which Cobra Kai got right with the stories of Johnny, and Danny, and like really balanced out like it tells both of their struggles, and it tells as boys growing to men without their born fathers, how they had to deal with their fathers who tried to help them and all that, you know, because Kreese comes across really slimy, like on the face of it, you think, oh, he's a great honorable guy. He's teaching kids to defend himself, but he's teaching them like no mercy, murder stomp people and all
Crush
that, and
everybody.
yeah, and and then when he comes back in uh, Cobra Kai, you think, oh, maybe he reformed and he's acting all friendly. Oh, I was wrong before Johnny, but he's not. He's real slimy. You know what I mean? And he manipulates Johnny and steals the whole dojo from him, and so he's a great villain, Kreese. And anyway, so the guys were the five guys. It was Johnny, Dutch. You see in this image over here, you see a couple of them behind him, and in Cobra Kai season 1 or 2, one of the actors died. Here's the five of them down here, right? And one of the actors died. I forgot which one. So the four the left, they wrote out and had an in series remembrance of him. So they're probably doing something similar now that Chad McQueen has died. They're probably doing something similar in because they're filming the last part of the final season. So they're probably doing something similar with them, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's and Beyond Karate Kid, he hasn't done a lot of other acting. He was in a lot of other acting, direct to video stuff. He's done some martial arts stuff. He was a real life. He was a race car driver. That's where his injuries came from. That's why he couldn't appear in the show. He was going to try to appear in the season 6. He had the scheduling conflict, and then he probably passed away. That's our other death of the past week. I guess I have a couple articles picked up. Well, Chad McQueen obviously was the one one of the ones I picked. Him passing away, and then we can talk about this. Come on, load, damn it, load. There we go. So, Elon Musk has announced he's planning a manned mission to Mars in 4 years. I hope I live to see it because he's going to have an unmanned mission in 2 years.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk predicted Saturday his SpaceX adventure to launch the first starships to Mars in 2 years and the astronauts on Mars in the next 4, even as NASA continues to delay its plan to return to the moon. What a joke the government's become. The first Starship to Mars will launch in 2 years when the next Earth-Mars transfer window opens. That's because there's so orbits are elliptical and there's alignment
Right.
horizontal. So and they have a bigger orbit. So you don't want to you want to do it when they're at certain points to facilitate. Thanks, Dempsey. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Well, not so much the closest, but because you want to take advantage of the gravity slingshot around, say, the Earth to give you free acceleration towards Mars and all that. When the optimum transfer time is to minimize to save fuel, basically, because that's really the big issue, with fuel. Like if you had infinite fuel, it wouldn't matter. You could just launch the dang ship at any point, But you don't have infinite fuel.
Yeah.
So these will be on crew to test the reliability of landing intact on Mars. If those landing well, then the first crew flights to Mars will be in 4 years. So that's pretty cool. My other article that I had picked out was this. So we're going to watch a trailer. Now, this is the trailer for the New Salem's Lot that they've been sitting on for several years. Can you hear? Can you hear it, Jacob?
About things that are so
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start again with slightly lower volume. There you go. So we'll do some stopping so we don't get in trouble. So Salem's Lot was written in the 70s. Is my favorite Stephen King's novel and is a favorite novel that Stephen King himself wrote of his own. And pound for pound, the original TV adaptation of Salem's Lot is the best book adaptation ever done of anything. TV, movie, whatever. Okay. It is an awesome, awesome TV miniseries and it is an incredible adaptation. Like almost a 10 for 10 on the adaptation scale, like 9.0, 9.5 out of 10 type of thing.
Why did you come back?
I'm here for research.
What exactly though are you researching?
I think they're setting it in the 70s, which is what's supposed to be.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary in the log recently?
Now, one of the things about the original, have you ever seen it, Jacob? Jacob?
No, I'm
So
not really a horror fan.
yeah, okay, you don't have to be. One of the cool things about the novel and the original movie, there was like a lot of times with vampire movies, they forget to make the vampires creepy. You know, like they did make them like monsters that rip people apart or Lotharios that romance women or whatever. But vampires are
Yeah.
supposed to be creepy. You know, even back to like even before the Bram Stoker novel when they codified the sort of romantic image of the vampire. You know, they're supposed to be like creepy predator type things, and that's why to me the best adaptation of Dracula is always going to be. In America, it's called Horror of Dracula. In the 19th, it's the Hammer Dracula film starring Christopher Lee. He understood how to make Dracula creepy, just pure acting, and it's an incredible role. You know.
Yeah. So this is vampires, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoilers for the 50-year-old book. You know.
No idea what you're getting yourself into here.
Well, it's vampires. How do I put it? Stephen King has a very Lovecraftian flair to his universe. You haven't read anything
Mhm.
by him? I don't know if you've read anything by him.
I know of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, to know that it's kind of like that. Yeah.
He has like on the top level where most of the stories are, they're sort of I don't want to say simplistic villains, but the stories are fairly straightforward. You know, your monster or your criminal or whatever, right? But on the underlying level, there's this very Lovecraftian vibe to the backstory, you know, and like all
Mhm.
these towns in New England, like in Lovecraft, if you ever read any of his stuff, that all these horrors happened. Like in some places, you can find ruins in New England that go back thousands of years to ancient monsters that lived there or whatever, you know. And so Stephen King doesn't quite import Lovecraft directly, but he does have that same sort of ancient evilness and weirdness in his towns, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Annie, where are you? Answer me.
Oh, that was cool.
This is not a disease you can catch.
Oh, yeah. So I like that. I mean, obviously it's only a trailer, you know what I mean? But I will try
Mhm.
to find, I have it. Maybe I'll load up a scene of it, see if I can grab some of it. But there was that you saw some of the creepiness there with the vampires, you know, like they weren't just coming at you and ripping you to pieces or whatever. I'm okay with like different type of movie having. I'm just saying, for Salem's Lot, they got to be creepy. You know,
Of course, eventually. Things have gone bad in the lot now.
oh, that was a great scene. October 3rd, 2 weeks away. This film's been held up for like 2 years. So, and it's kind of funny, like, because Stephen King has follow like the main novel is films a lot, but he has follow up stories of before and after. Like before it's called Jerusalem's Lot, which takes place in like the year 1600, which kind of explains why the evil was there, type of thing. And then the aftermath of it is, um, uh, like so there are parts of New England because of the events of Salem's Lot that you can't go to because they're infested with vampires, and no one will talk about it. like, like, like even the government won't talk about it. The people are like, just don't go there. It's bad, you know. Like, you know. But I am greatly appreciating that. Yeah. Now let's find so I can play. Okay, here's the original one. So let's stop sharing. Stop screen. Let's load this one up. Present. Share screen. Window. So this is our original movie from the 70s. I mean, do I have a high def on this one? Did they ever release that? So this is high. This is high def. So that's what. So I wonder, but I don't think it's remastered. So you'll probably see some graininess to it. David Soul from Star Trek. He's the main character in this.
Sitting down.
And you can see the atmospherics are really good. You see all the shadows and whatever. This is one of the movies that the image of our campaign comes from, the way I view it. You know. Here's let's see if see how the mist is forming and all that, and there's something in the mist coming to the window.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they really set this up well, you know. Yeah. And we saw that scene. This is actually scene we saw in the other film, you know.
Yeah.
So it's I love this the 70s one. I hope the readaptation is just as good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
as far as other articles, that was my main prepared stuff. You know, we'll do the little golden book. Do you have anything you want to check out, Jacob?
No, not really.
We'll do a couple randos, and we'll do the little golden book.
Okay.
Bounding in the comics. Oh no, okay. So Emi Shinohara, if you've seen, like, obviously if you're older, you know, like you got to watch Sailor Moon in subs. Dubs are horrible, you know. Yeah, man. I guess as we get older, we're all heading up. You know, we're all heading down that road, so to speak. So sad news, another death. Okay. I just did Bounty. Why did I go there again? I wanted to go to Cosmic News. Nothing really care about there. Check some music out. Nothing. Nothing giant there. I want to care about. Dark Horizons. Apparently, they're going ahead with making a sequel to the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie. 25 years later or whatever.
What? That wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was not very good, especially if you've read the original material. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't, and it was not a good movie.
Well, here's the thing, right? So here's where it goes wrong. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could argue about, right? But here's where it goes wrong. When the devil shows up in the series and he calls him like Lucifer, right? In Marvel, in DC Comics, Lucifer is sort of the devil, but not the devil, right? So back in the 80s and 90s, when Gaiman and Ostrander were revising the sort of magical, religious, supernatural corner of DC, two things happened, right? So Constantine came along, and one of his foes was Satan, right? And then Gaiman came along and made Lucifer a regular character in Sandman, one of the big arcs of Sandman. Eventually, Lucifer had his own series, which is an award-winning series. The problem was they were incompatible. That like because Lucifer, as depicted by Constantine, is kind of like the ultimate narcissist. Not Constantine, by Gaiman. He doesn't care at all about he doesn't want souls. He doesn't care about them. You know what I mean? He's virtually omnipotent. He doesn't care about. He really wants free will, and the whole deal with hell was God said, "I got this place where you can have all the free will you want. You just got to run it for me." You know. So he goes to hell, and all these like demons and devils get there, right? Or some are already there, and he's like, "Leave me alone and do whatever you want," because he wants free will. And some of them, the first of the fallen is Satan. So he pretends. So all these other demons and devils pretend to be Lucifer, which tick him off, right? So periodically he swats them down. So in Constantine, when he calls him Lucifer, right? Constantine knows Lucifer is not Satan. Like in right, he would not dare call him that because he knows it might attract Lucifer's attention. Not that Lucifer cares too much, but he got very fed up with them impersonating him, you know. So that to me I was like that was totally deviant from the storyline and the comic. I know it's on nerdy comic stuff for people, but you know. Anything else in here? Let's check out the box office. Apparently Beetlejuice is doing well. So Beetlejuice, 136 million
like
gross. Huh? What's that?
I hear people mixed about people liking it or not liking it.
Yeah. Well, I was never a giant fan of the original. I respect it; it's a decent movie, but I'm not.
Me neither.
Yeah, but so I'm not compelled to watch a sequel. It's like Top Gun. I respect Top Gun as a movie, but I never really cared. I don't care about watching a sequel to it. You know. No. Deadpool Wolverine still number 2. So let's look at our yearly annual. So Inside Out's number 1, Deadpool Wolverine number 2, Despicable Me 4, 3, Dune Part 2 number 4. That's just a US total. Like, where do we get the totals? I hate the way international charts, I guess. I really wish they would make it simpler to get, you know, like totals or whatever. You know, you go to annual and it should give you a column for like worldwide total. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's see complete chart. Nope, that's not what I wanted. What does this one give you? Doesn't give you anything. Okay, so whatever. What else? So it's almost at 6:00. No chat, no question to chat. Fandom Wire.
We are getting a Goonies sequel. I don't know if we talked about that.
Do we want a Goonies sequel?
No.
Could they even do a Goonies sequel that's not like with the way modern wokeism is?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Good, but I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Even if they did.
Oh, did you hear the? I don't know if do you play any video games?
No. But what?
So there was a game called Lollipop Chainsaw, right?
Oh yes, I've heard about this. Yeah.
And it's a pure fan service game. You know what I mean? Like there's no
Yeah,
pretense. It's obviously a fan service character, and like it was a fun game played like once. It's not a game you're going to play for obsessively to get beat every mode or whatever. Obviously, you got your hot looking cheerleader character who cuts people up with cuts zombies up with a chainsaw, right? Whatever. So fast food, they want to remake it for by remake it they mean update the graphics of it. But the game is going to be the same. They're just going to tweak the UI so it's a little more fun, to deal with the modern equipment. And the studio was like, nope, we're leaving it just as is. We're not wokeifying it, as I'm paraphrasing. And the woke part of it blew their gasket over it,
Good. Let them.
And to the point that the gaming journalist companies, the woke ones, won't even review the product. Now, what makes it funnier? Back when this game came out, they were like, this character doesn't look at all realistic. No woman looks like that. And one of the developers took a picture of her girlfriend and said, I based most of the work on my girlfriend with a picture of her. So I love it. Like the same thing with that other game that came out recently, a Japanese game with a model
what was it? Stellar's Blade or something?
Stellar Blade, yeah. And they were like, and it was a real woman that they based that on, this is a famous one from even before. So I have a poster of Psylocke. Psylocke is a comic book character, and before Jim Lee got a hold of her, she wasn't a like sexy comic book character, right? But then Jim Lee revamped her with some sort of shenanigans like time travel and whatever, and there were two famous posters of her with life-size Psylocke that came out. One where she was standing up and one where she's kneeling in a bikini. And Jim Lee drew both of them. And they were like, Jim Lee, it's horrible. You're doing this to women. He goes, this is literally what my wife looks like. It just shut them all up. He made Psylocke and like his wife, like he made her look just like his wife, So I love it when you do that to these people and like this person can't it's misogynistic or it's no real person and a real person just shows up and it was based on me or whatever. I love it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even better when the people making it don't want to do woke, and they get more sales for not going woke.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a whole obviously Reacher, famously, I guess you would say, because the producer, the guy one executive producer of Reacher was Lee Childs, who read the book. So
yeah.
Now Reacher's getting a spin-off, by the way, which I predicted.
Yeah.
So the character Neely is only in like 4, like she appears significantly in 4 books, and then like mildly in 3 other ones as a background character. But the character was so popular, I was like, they're going to give this character a spin-off. And the reason they could do it, there's a justifiable reason. There's like 30 Reacher novels and counting. They're never going to be able to adapt them all. You know what I mean? So what they could do is, make some of them Neely novels, just rework them a little bit. If Reach Child's improved, I'm okay with that. And you can get more of those because there's nothing about Reacher stories. The reason I only read the first 4 books or the first 3.5 books, they're very repetitive. Like it's the same thing over and over. Reacher travels on the bus or whatever, goes someplace, and no one could deal. The bad guys don't expect someone his overwhelming abilities, and
it's like the there's 2 shows. The Incredible Hulk series was like that. I mean, he goes from place to place.
Yeah.
The Fugitive was a lot like that.
Yeah. Oh, to give the Fugitive credit, they did conclude it with him finding the one-armed man.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, I think those are our articles. Melvin.
Yeah, but
Here's the
Melvin,
thing. Like,
I didn't.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. I thought it was okay. Like the action scenes were good, but the story development from to get from scene to scene was a little. It was it was more filling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they already have multiple seasons of Reacher contracted and spin-off contracted, Melvin. So we're down to 2 of the batch, which are Super Mario or Star Wars. I guess I'll pick. Whatever one I pick is next week is what's left, right?
Go ahead and pick.
So I will pick Mario. So Star Wars was potentially the last one. Unless I find some more good ones that are cheap.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say this is like a special book, so like an Inside Out or whatever. I cracked this cover. Okay.
Got to
It's
smell
me,
it too.
Mario.
Have that good new book smell.
Oh yeah. That won't be in the short. That won't be in the short clip. Here's our inside cover. I'll be main screen myself. This is by Steve Fox. Welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom. This is the palace. This is the place to start over. Blah, 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 blah. My English is dead. Super Mario by Steve Fox. I'm not. I also want to turn pages apparently. Welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom. This is the place the kind Princess Peach calls home. The princess is popular with the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser, the powerful king of Koopas, often invades the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser has an entire army to back him up. His army does not look too intimidating there. From Goombas to Hammer Bros and Koopa Troopas, Bowser's goons will do anything he asks to put him on top. Who can possibly save the Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser's awful plots? Why, it's Mario, the brave hero of the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser is up to his wicked ways again, but Mario is always there to save the day. Mario doesn't have to save the Mushroom Kingdom by himself. His brother Luigi is always ready to help. Luigi isn't as brave as Mario, but he has the heart of a hero as long as there are no spooky ghosts around. There's our man. Mario and Luigi have Yoshi on their side. Yoshi uses his long tongue to eat up their enemies or any tasty food he finds along the way. Yoshi carries Mario far and wide to save the Mushroom Kingdom. By fluttering his legs, Yoshi can jump extra high to reach new areas. I almost read it says Tesla. Toads come in a variety of colors. They are happy to help Princess Peach and don't look like toads. Toads try to protect the Mushroom Kingdom, but they are no match for Bowser. They named Toadstool, not Toad. Bowser isn't the only problem facing the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario and his friends also have to worry about piranha plants, Koopa Troopas, Spinies, Buzzy Beetles, Koopa Paratroopers, Chain Chomps, and Goombas. Those evil Goombas. Oh, and Luckiness. The Koopalings are an even bigger obstacle. They're led by Bowser's naughty son, Bowser Jr. They all help Bowser get into Mario's way. It's a good thing that Mario always keeps a power-up handy. The Superstar makes him invincible and keeps him safe. The Super Mushroom lets him turn into his super form. The Fire Flower lets him throw fireballs. With Mario around, Bowser's no-good plans will never succeed. The Mushroom Kingdom stays safe thanks to Mario and his friends. The adventure never ends in the Mushroom Kingdom. I did not find that one very fun, Jacob. It explains Mario,
No.
of course, right? As far as explaining Mario,
that's
it's a good book.
That's what it explains on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So it's like this. So this is like the kids' version of Wikipedia. It's like that's what this
Yeah,
does.
right.
Okay. Audience, remember, this one is the kid. Don't buy this one. It's the kids' version of Wikipedia. Just load the Wikipedia article. Oh man. So of the ones I bought, this is what we have left for next week. Similar time. Anyway. Yeah, Melvin. Well, I mean, Melvin, back to Melvin's comment. I don't think that bullets work effectively even in the first season, but it's a TV show in that sense. So, the last thing I guess we could talk about, since we tend to get this topic from Roman's show, was so last night we reviewed, or I should say, Roman was forced to review The Fifth Element. Let's put Jacob back. And let's go to Luke. And the creator of The Fifth Element was Luc Besson.
A Frenchman.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of anything French, but some things are okay. So his filmography is rather short. Right? So as a director, the first film I actually know him from is La Femme Nikita, which is really good. There was a American adaptation called. What was the American adaptation called? It starred Bridget Fonda. It was with Bridget Fonda. Oh, this will tell us, of course. Remake. Point of No Return. Okay. And it was a decent, remake, even though the original was better. But the cool thing that spun off of this was an American TV show on USA called La Femme Nikita, which the first two seasons of were really good, So, and now other than that, then of course we have
in my head canon.
Yeah.
In my head canon, the little girl in Lyon is the Femme Nikita grown up.
That could
Grows
work.
up
I
to
mean,
be
think
the Femme
about it.
Nikita.
Yeah. That could actually work, Yeah. And then, of course, Leon the Professional, right, which we just mentioned, which is a great movie. It's a truly great movie. Did we do that on your show or Romans?
My show.
Okay. And then The Fifth Element, which we reviewed. So this is like, and Atlantis, I think, is a documentary, right? So this is like his 4 great movies right here, you know? And then I didn't like The Messenger Story of Joan of Arc. I know people who did like it. I didn't like it. As far, again, most of his films after that are like stuff I never cared for. And then, of course, the big film after was this one. This was very disappointing because this is a pretty good French comic by the artist who helped him on The Fifth Element. And for this movie to be as bad as it was, just was very disappointing. You know? So that's his, and he has some other credits with like writer and producer. You know, nothing leaping out at you is incredible, but a lot more work, obviously. And for some reason, did he do the Transport? The first Transporter film, which was starring Jason Statham, was really good.
Yeah, it was.
The second one was okay, and it was after that I kind of lost interest in it. The Transport TV show was stupid.
Unleashed. Is Unleashed the one with Jet Li and Bob Hoskins?
Where?
Unleashed. Where was that?
Danny the Dog. Yeah, Danny the Dog. Yeah, Unleashed was American. In French, it was Danny the Dog. Yep. This was okay. I thought it was too long, but otherwise it was interesting. You know. So, yeah. And he was he wrote it apparently and produced it, but didn't direct it. Louis Lederer. Oh, here's Louis Lederer. Okay, so he did the 2008 Incredible Hulk film, the Clutch Titan remake that I didn't care for. I thought this was a good installment of the Fast and Furious series. I don't know if you're a fan of that or not. And Doctor, it's so crazy. I'm surprised they didn't do a follow-up. This is a pretty good season of it, you know. So, yeah. So that's. I guess that's our. Anything else you want to add about Luc Besson?
No.
So that's our filmography. Not much to inspire here, but you know. Oh wait, he had to do with this film. This film I saw was better than I thought it would be. I'm trying to make sure I got the right one. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it's the film I think it was. I think it was. Yeah, and so that's another film he was involved with that's watchable. You know, there you go. So that's our that's most of my plans. That's my planned show. And you got so Jacob, what are you doing?
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I'm doing Ben-Hur, the 1959 Ben-Hur, 3-hour long movie. Good movie.
Yeah. And back from an era when a 3-hour long film was actually 3 hours of a good movie.
Yeah.
Not now when it's 2 hours of a good movie, 1 hour of like padding, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, you'll be on Roman Show next week with me, which is a roundtable, like random articles. Obviously, next year on my Friday show next week. Anything else, Jacob?
No, I guess I could go ahead and say what's next. The Tuesday after the next.
Yeah,
is,
go ahead.
The Wrath of Khan.
Khan!
Yes, the best Khan.
If you go back and check Roman's stream of that out, I did it by accident, on purpose and accident. Right as he was cutting credits, I screamed "Khan" as loud as I could. Like, so that's the very end of that stream is me doing the Khan yell. You know.
Yeah, Roman will be on mine too.
Yeah. If a spot opens up, let me know. You know. So
okay.
That is
that's going to be a 4-person one.
Yeah.
Me, Roman, Blair, and Jason. What's his name? What's his last name?
That's
He
fine.
came
No, I
on
mean, I
Romer's
think,
show with the comic book.
yeah. I know who you mean. You know, if someone drops, let me know. You know, so there you go. And Jacob, you should find a way to post your calendar online.
Yeah.
Like,
I do come out with the
do you post it on your
schedule.
on your web pages? You know, not your web. Your YouTube has like an about. You know what I mean, like an about part.
Yeah, that's a good
You
idea.
should try to. There's a way to post it there, I think, in some form or another. And then we could just link to it. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
What I got coming up? So sometime tonight I will record. I will do the stand. I will pull out the standalone video for the Goonies. That'll be up tomorrow probably. I'll do my review of AEW's All Out pay per view, which was excellent, especially if you like the older style, more violent wrestling. I keep telling myself I'm going to do videos for Rings of Prime, but I just can't make myself watch it again to do the video. So it's like, we'll see if that happened or not. You know, there's that.
Yeah.
Be on Roman show next week. Be on Thursday night is overbooked with Joker Voice on the Legion Talk channel. It's a wrestling talk show. My video, I do a live watch of Rings of Prime on the Questioners. He'll post that this weekend. So we're up to episode 5, and that's kind of what I got going on. Otherwise, I think we're done for the week, Jacob.
Yep.
So everyone out there, stay warm or cold and safe or dry, depending on where you live and what's going on. Have a great weekend. Hopefully your football season, unlike mine, your football season is not over after the first game. You know? No.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's the show, and we are out of here.
Later.